Hello, everyone. I'm Toby Schifsky. I'm the Vice President of Real Estate Education at Kaplan. Going to need to update our screen here. I did get a promotion recently. How about that? Good guys can still win. Love that. Today, our Dearborn webinar for October is gearing up for 2024. Hugely important topic. And I know some of you have been in the business for a while. You know the importance of gearing up for 2024, and you know the importance of finishing strong for 2023. And so we're just going to go through, and I'm going to share, some of the things that I find important for a school to be doing at this time of year. There's a lot of distractions at this time of year. There's a lot of holidays coming up. There's a lot of family gatherings. There's a lot of industry events coming up. And so for us, keeping focused this last 3 months out of the year is supremely important. We're just going to touch on a couple of those topics and a couple of strategies to help you with doing that. We're going to be done in about 30 minutes. We're going to take questions. By all means, you can enter your questions in the chat. I will gladly answer them if I can. We are going to have a couple poll questions. You're going to be able to play along. And as always, if you need to leave for any reason, don't worry. We'll send this out in about a week. You'll have access to the videos. In fact, you have access to all our past videos too on dearborn.com. And we'll share that at the very end. You can go to that link and see all of our past partner videos also. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right. So there's 3 pillars to a 2024 success. Really, I mean, and this is these 3 things that we try to concentrate on at the end of the year, every year. And it's extremely important, right? Number one, you got to finish 2023 strong. 2023, the end of the year, is really setting up for 2024, right? You're running programs, you're running campaigns, you're finishing education, you're doing all these things. You have to finish strong in 2023, and we're going to kind of go into a couple pieces of that. And then we're going to talk about affirm and strengthen your relationships, right? So one of the biggest competitive advantages I talk to everybody about our wholesale partners is many of you are hyper-local focused where you're at. You are known in your community, you are known in your area, you're known in your region, you're known in your state. We actually have very few Dearborn partners who are in multiple states, like a national provider. We have very few of those. We have a couple, but very few. And I think the key to the success of you is those local relationships. Big real estate education companies don't necessarily have those local relationships. The big real estate companies make relationships through marketing and ad spend, right? Digital purchasing of pay-per-click and ads that stalk you around the internet. Not necessarily the relationships that you have on a local level. And so I tell people all the time, I would compete like crazy there. And we're going to talk about it. How do you know when you're really competing and you're being successful? I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. And then win in January. 2024, what we're going to find is really all about January. And some would say, by the end of the first quarter of 2024, you kind of know how your year is going to go when it comes to education. We're going to talk about that and make sure that you're set up for success to win in 2024. All right, let's go ahead. Once again, I'm going to ask you guys poll questions as we go along here. So I have a first poll question because I want to know who's in. Here's the thing. The chats are not anonymous. I see your name in the chats. In the poll questions, nobody sees your name for your answer. So I'm asking everybody to play along. It's totally anonymous. Nobody's going to see your name and what your answer is. But I want to know of everybody who's on here, right? How long have you been in the business of real estate education? So I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll question. Answer it on your screen. On your screen. If you're on your phone, you might have to swipe. But answer the poll question that I just threw up on the page. It should be there for everybody. And I'll share the results. I always share the results. So you will learn like I learned who's on here. So you got 10 plus years. How long have you been in? I've been around forever. Toby, I've been around longer than you. So I've been in like 22 years, I think it is, 21 years I've been in the business. 4 to 10 years, that's a pretty good run. If you're in there for 4 to 10 years, you're kind of out of the scary stage, and you're into the kind of the how do I really anchor my business stage. More than 1, but less than 4. So you've been in more than 1 year, but less than 4. Like you probably came in during the COVID, during the pandemic. Interesting. Less than 1 year. Most people feel like we're out of the pandemic if it's been less than 1 year. We got quite a few of you in here for that too. That's awesome. And then heck, I'm just looking to start a school. So please, 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 help me out. Help me know I'm on the right path. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. 3, 2, 1, 0, finish. And I'm going to share the results. How about that? So we got 27% of you have been in for 10 plus years. All right. Next time I'm going to do a panel, and you're going to come up here with me. We're going to tell everybody how to prepare for the end of the year and how to set up a great 2024. So please, please, please play along in the chat if you've got something to share and you got some wisdom you want to share with people too. 4 to 10 years, 33% of you. All right. So there's a nice pile. You're in that phase. Your business is either going up or it's going down. Where are you going to go? Right. The next is more than 1, but less than 4 years. You're fresh into it. 20% of you, 13% less than a year. You're fresh as a daisy. And then heck, I'm not even at. We do have 7% of you. I've not even started a school, but you want to, and you're in the right place because that's what Dearborn does. We tell people all the time, we're really good at helping you start your business and then continue to feed you the content and services that you need to build your business. And heck, look at that. We got 27% of the people on this webinar have been in the business for 10 plus years and find themselves as our partners. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Appreciate that very much. All right, let's jump in to our finishing strong for 2023. I call it the holiday malaise, right? Now, I'm a Kaplan, right? Big organization, lots of different shared services and there's another thing that happens when you're in a big organization. You get a lot of people with vacation time when we come to the end of the year that they haven't used it. And everybody wants to use their vacation time. And I tell everybody, listen, if we've got projects and we've got initiatives, we have to get it done by Thanksgiving. In fact, I've even moved it up and said, you got to get everything done by Halloween, really by October 31st, because it just goes crazy after that. People out, people this, traveling, doing that. It's super hard in a big organization to get that done. Now, in some of your organizations, you might be you and another person, just you or you and 5 people. It might be easier to manage that. But the key is, as you're coming into the holiday season, there's also our customers and our vendors, people we use for services and stuff. They're gone on vacation and they're not buying education, or your printer's gone, or your person who does your website is gone. You have to have it set, right? So, and what I tell people is we have to have our initiatives done by October 31st. Some years were better than others, but for sure by Thanksgiving, right? For sure by Thanksgiving, you better have everything in place, all your marketing campaigns, the way you want your website to look. And I mean, if you're an RE Campus partner, you want your packages set up right and your pricing set up right. You want all that stuff done as you're trying to finish 2023 strong, right? Because really it's about setting up for 2024. So avoid the holiday malaise. I know it's hard because everybody wants to take a vacation and everybody wants to spend family time, but in this business, sometimes you got to grind. And I would say that January, February, March are so important that you don't want to miss it because, there was a problem around holidays for you. All right. Sure. Execute on your marketing and sales plans. Here's the next piece. This end of the year push. In fact, I'm just in the chat. Just say yes, 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 or no, no, no. Are any of you doing a marketing or sales push right now between now and the end of the year to try to drive more sales for this year? I mean, some of you got CE deadlines coming up at the end of this year in December. That's great. That's always a fantastic thing to push towards our deadlines, and especially continuing education deadlines. A lot of states don't have a actual deadline. It's a rolling date. Like it would be my own personal, the month I got licensed in would be my renewal date. But there are some states where it is a December 31st deadline, or it's an October 31st deadline. Anybody running these end of the year marketing push or sales plans that you're calling on people? If you are, stick with it. If you're not, you should be thinking about how you can do a sales push, but here's my one bit of advice. We used to just do sales pushes to try to drive people into this year, right? Like we get to the end of the year and we're trying to drive a little more revenue in. It was very short-sighted. And what I mean by that is there is such a significant realized push come the new year, come January, February, March, that we were kind of selling ourselves short by just limiting whatever we were doing to just the fall, to just October, November, and have it finish in December. And that was mostly for licensing it. If it's a CE deadline, I get that. But for licensing, what we found was we'd be better off doing a push that not only maybe gave a discount or some sort of a referral in November and December, but it became much more successful when it carried over into January and February to really prepare for 2024. What you don't want is to spend a lot of energy and then get nothing out of it come the new year. At this time of year, you're going to want to do activities. You're going to want to do sales and marketing campaigns that can actually have a little more lift into January and February, maybe even into March. So just thinking about how you're pushing and if you're actually capitalizing at the right times. January market preparation, right? So how do you make sure that you are prepared for January? I just talked about it. How do you extend your campaigns so that you actually get some lift in January and February? Here's what we find. There's a lot of people, real estate is a classic second career business. I'd say second, third, or fourth career business, but second career business. And what I mean by that is we get a lot of activity in January. You get a lot of activity in January. People go, man, I'm making a change. I'm making a move. I'm going to a new career. And you know what? Those people are going to go to a new career and they're going to have to go get their real estate education and they got to pass their exam. They're starting to think about it right now. And they're really thinking about it in November. And they're searching. They're on their discovery journey in December. And their discovery journey includes everything from going on the web and searching for what is it, a real estate career and what does it take? And then, oh my gosh, I need licensing education. I got to connect with a brokerage. I'm going to do all these things, right? But they're in their discovery phase. And either you're a part of that discovery phase, either through some sort of content marketing you have, what is the career in real estate? And are you a resource for people to go to for that? Or they're calling on somebody like a brokerage who you have a relationship with. And that brokerage is selling them into the business of real estate, saying, hey, I think you'd have a spot here at my brokerage. Because what is the first thing that a broker does in order to actually coach or be a business partner to their new recruit? It's to tell them where to go to get their education. And hopefully you're that spot where people are there, these brokerages, these decision makers, we call them, who are deciding where their recruits go to get education. Hopefully you've got relationships with those people locally to do that. So how do you prepare for that January Q1 market? Super important. Another thing you can do, review your product offerings. So at this point, right, you've been blazing through the year. What are you offering for your products? And I would talk about this quite a few times, but we're going through a move with our RE campus right now. We're moving to a new enhanced version of RE campus, new look, new feel, new administrative stuff, all that stuff. And so we're moving people from old portals to new portals with RE campus. And it still shocks me how many people are not selling licensing packages. They're just selling the individual licensing courses. And I can tell you this, from what we've learned at Kaplan is over 90% of the people that we sell licensing courses to buy a package. It's a bigger order value. It's a much larger order value. As soon as they decide they're going to buy with you, it's our opportunity to sell them everything they need at once. And so when we look at package licensing, I know many of you offer the packages. Good, you're in a good spot. But if you're not offering a licensing package, which is a licensing course, an exam prep product, be it a QBank or an on-demand or online video exam prep course, if you're not doing that, you should. You can still offer the individual courses if you want to, but offering the full package gets your average order value up. Why wouldn't you want to make $50 more than what a course costs without the additional stuff, when 90% of people are willing to buy more? So, and then you can even look at a career accelerator package that we offer on RE Campus, which is a $200 retail, and you're splitting that on your share. I mean, like you're getting like almost just over half of that on your share or more from Dearborn. So I know I've talked about this before, but if you're not offering packages, you should look really hard at doing that. And for those of you who are doing in-person classes, or live online classes, what can you package with the stuff you're selling right now that will up that order value? Because here's what it comes to. When people decide to buy, they buy. And if they trust you enough to buy one, they'll trust you enough to buy all of it. And so for us, it's a big part of our strategy is making sure we continue to work on average order value. All right. The next piece, purchase smart for tax benefits. How many of you are on a cash basis for your accounting and your fiscal year ends at the end of this year? If you are lined up on the calendar year and you're on a cash basis, you can have expenses. Many of you have been in the business for a long time. I'm pretty sure anybody's been on the in the business for 10 years plus, you understand this. If you're doing live education and you're buying print books, or even if you're buying EPUB books from Dearborn or whoever, there's an opportunity at the end of the year to say, here's how much profit we're going to have this year, and can we offset some of that profit by purchasing books now and take the expense in 2023, but include them in the courses and the revenue for 2024. Does it make, I'm not an accountant, right? So I'm not a tax accountant, but I can tell you our most sophisticated partners are balancing this all the time. And so taking the expense against profits this year in order to reap the benefits next year. So if you haven't looked at that, now is the time, because you can get your orders in and you can get stuff placed and you get stuff delivered. And so take a look at the tax benefits. Always check with your tax accountant to make sure that you're doing it right. All right, because there are some people that this doesn't work for, but you should be looking at it. And you can save thousands of dollars by doing that. Personally, we can't do that. We're on an accrual basis for our business, and so we don't get that kind of advantage. We can only take the expense once we use the book, and so it's just a little different program. But for many small businesses, you're on a cash basis, and you can do that. Okay, let's do this. Let's move to the next section. Affirm and strengthen your relationships. I think I started earlier. I said the highest competitive advantage that a hyper local focused company has, is you have relationships locally with decision makers. Decision makers are people that we call at the brokerages who are recruiting people and then telling them where to go to get their licensing education. How are your relationships in that case? And how much of your business, if you're doing it right, how much of your business should really be coming from those referrals from those local brokerages? Because I can tell you right now, as somebody who runs a national, school, it's really hard to have those local connections for us. So we end up chasing, digital marketing spend online and paid search and, all those ads that stalk you all over the internet. We do all of that, like our competitors do. The thing we don't have is we don't have boots on the ground. We don't have local relationships. That's you. That's your, bread and butter. And so what are you doing? How much of your business is really coming from that? I'm going to ask another poll question. All right. So there's another chance for you to play along. It's anonymous. Nobody's going to know. And so what percentage of your business comes from referrals by brokerages? What percent of the business? I'm going to go ahead and launch poll. Here comes poll number 2. And you should be able to see it right now. What percentage of your business comes from referrals by brokerages? You get one choice. Find your spot in there, 0 to 20%, 21 to 33%. You're like almost a third. just over a third, but up to about 50% come from brokerages, or 51 to 65%. Like I'm over 50% of the people sitting in my courses are coming from referrals, or 66% plus. So more than 2/3 of the people that come to me are through referral. This is good. We got some really interesting responses coming in here. So this is different than I thought I was going to see. I'm going to share what we do. So you're going to get what happens on our side. I'm going to tell you, right? So keep it inside these walls. But all right. So what percentage of your business comes from referrals from brokerages? I'm going to go ahead and share. 3, 2, 1. All right. Look at this. So 54% of you say 0 to 20%. Good job. You're on the board, right? You're scoring some points. Love that. 21 to 33%, only 8% there fall in that little range. How about this? So from a third to a half, so 34% to 50%, 23% of you say that. So about almost a quarter of the people here are like, we're getting almost 50%, anywhere from a third to 50%. Over 50%, 0. How about this though? 15% of you are 66% plus. Now, you might be associated with a brokerage. I get that. Good for you. Like you are the brokerage and you're allowed to do the licensing education. That's phenomenal. Love that. But if you're not actually the brokerage and you're getting that much from referrals, that's fantastic. I mean, you're crushing it if you're over 66%. Because it's about the relationship. It's not about ad spend on the internet, digital marketing spends. It's not about all that. It's about a relationship that you can nurture and foster. And as their businesses grow, your business can grow. And it's a super way to compete locally. So, oh gosh, did I not share the results? I'm sorry. Here, look at them now. 54% for 0 to 20, 8% for 21 to 33%. I got almost a quarter of you said 34 to 50%, and 0 for 51 to 65. And look at that, 15% or 66% plus. How about that? Does that surprise anybody? Any of that? Because I think it's interesting, and I'm super excited for you guys with 66% plus. So where are we at? I can tell you right now, we shoot for 50% or more of our business to be from referrals. 50%. So half of everybody sitting in our classes, half of everybody taking our online courses, we're looking for 50% referral. And that's we're just a little bit different as a national player on the Kaplan side, because we do have some big local presence in a handful of states. And it's in those states where this kind of a relationship really, really pays off, where we still have a bit of a local focus. But I can tell you this, if you're at 50% or more, you have a pretty healthy and a very, I would say, a balanced business where yes, when the market's going to go up, the market's going to go down, but you are going to be in the game. And so how do you create those relationships, right? Touch all decision makers. How do you make sure you stay connected to the ones you have? Man, this is handwritten notes. This is, hey, I'm doing a happy hour down at Decoy's Bar and Lounge on Friday night. Why don't you come and hang out with us? Hey, what can I do to help your recruits? This is just about touching to let them know that, yes, as a matter of fact, I am still in business. Our school is crushing it, and we're excited for you to continue to grow your business. Please, please, please send us your recruits. Whatever you do, you should be touching every single one of those relationships from brokerages between now and the end of the year, once, if not twice, because what happens in January, things go crazy, right? So make sure they know you're in business. If you never send anything out or you never touch anybody for the rest of the year, do it between now and the first of the year. Make sure you're in their mind. And that could be a brochure, that could be a postcard, it could be a pamphlet. It's a phone call, it's an email, it's a stop in the office. Take advantage of your local sense. Take advantage of that if you can. All right. The next is your students. How do you strengthen relationship with students? Well, where's the business? Right now, the business licensing is down. There's no joke that licensing is down. But we had a nice run for the last couple of years. And for those of you who are in states with post-licensing requirements, right, those students you should be connecting with. You should be connecting with them all the time until they tell you to stop, because you want them to come to your post-licensing. You should not lose track of them. And you know what? I would connect with them regularly through email. It's probably the least expensive way to do it. I'm sure you have their email addresses. I would let them know what's going on. I would let them know. I would even maybe incentivize them if you wanted to, right? How do you get them to come in and make sure they're taking their post-licensing with you? And those who don't have post-licensing, well, even those new students are still going to need continuing education. What do you do to get them back for their first renewal? I can tell you how important it is getting them back for the first renewal, because once you get them back for the first renewal, you're almost like at 80% assured to get them back for their next renewal if they're in the business. I would get them back for their first renewal. How do you do that? Make sure you touch them. Make sure they know you're in the business. Make sure they're important and that you've got a solution for them. That's important. All right, so continuing education. And then last, finally, here's what we're going to really come down to. We're going to come down to all of this sets up for winning in January. I argue it's the most important month out of the year. Most important. How important? Well, how much? Another poll question, last poll question. We're going to have some fun with this one. What percentage of your annual licensing business, this was licensing education, does January represent? Once again, it's all anonymous, but I'm going to go ahead and throw up this poll. Take a second. Those of you on your phone, you might have to swipe a page to get to the poll, but look at this poll question. What percentage of your annual licensing business does January represent? Well, I can tell you right now, if January is 1 month out of the year, 1/12 of the year would be 8.3%. Are you guys seeing this poll? Here we go. Look at it. He's like, I don't know. How much would it be? I can tell you, for us, January is pretty big. And it kind of wobbles and wobbles through the year. And November and December are the weakest months out of the year, for sure. For sure. What do you think? Do you think it's 0 to 5% of your business? Do you think it's right at 8.3%? I probably set this up. You probably figure it's 8.3 or better. And so 8.4% to 10%, or 10% to 10.1% to 11.9%, or 12 to 15%. What do you think? I don't have a lot of people. I think I've got too many numbers here. We don't have a lot of people answering this poll question, or they're afraid to kind of look at it. But I'm going to share. I'm going to share what we get and what we drive to. And it's important because it's a big month. And it's kind of a bellwether, right? It kind of tells you how the rest of the year is going to go. For sure, by the end of the first quarter, we know essentially how the year is going to go by the end of the first quarter. All right, so let's do this. No more takers on the poll. I've only got I think I got less than 20%. 36% of you participated. Take a wild guess. Anybody? Poll questions? 3, 2, 1. There we go. One more. 0. And I'm going to end the poll. Share the results. All right. Some people think it's less than 8.3%, which would be 1/12 of the year, right? Like if every month was even, each one would get 1/12 or 8.3%. We got a bunch from 8.4 to 10%. We got nobody at 11%, nobody at 12%. Well, here's what I can tell you. We aim for 12 to 15% of annual sales in January. That's how big a month it is. That's why you have to finish the year strong. That's why you have to have your programs in place. You have to have your average order values ready to go, right? Packages set, any incentives, any programs, campaigns, promos, right, that you're doing have to all be in place in order to hit January. I mean, think about it. It's normally, if it's 1/12 of the year, it's 8.3%. Look at it. It's 50% more than an average month would be. Or greater. It can almost be close to double of your average monthly sales. January is just such a big month. It's hard to recover from not hitting it in January. It's just hard to recover on the year. And we've done it. We've had other snafus, websites not launched, things didn't happen. We've missed January before, and it makes the rest of the year hard, right? It's a bellwether of things to come. Be prepared for January. Phones on, websites working, packages set, pricing set, campaigns in place, November, December, driving into January sales, right? Because Q1 tells all. January is a very big, but by the end of Q1, you're going to know almost within a percentage point of where you're going to finish the end of the year. You just are. If you're watching your numbers, if you're really kind of calculating where you're at, that's kind of how things go, at least for licensing education. With CE, with deadlines, it's a little different story. But with licensing, January is important, and Q1 will tell you all. All right. This has been our Dearborn Partner Webinar, Being Prepared for 2024. And I just want to thank you all for being here today and playing along with us. Upon exiting this webinar, we encourage you to fill out the survey that we provide so we can continue to provide these kind of programs. Let us know if it was helpful or not. And then if you want to see any of the past Dearborn webinars, please just go to dearborn.com, right? And you're going to be able to see the Resource Center webinars. All the past webinars are there. Go take a look at them. They're all viable. If we feel like they're out of date, we're removing them off. But thank you again for being here today, and we'll see you all again soon. Thank you.